Om Shanti. We are really happy to have today Sister Rimi, BK Sister Rimi with us today, all the way from California. She's connected to the Milpitas Silicon Valley, California Center. We are really happy to have you with us, Sister. She has been in Gyan since 9 years, and she took knowledge from the Harmony House, Long Island, New York. She has been involved in this Gyan, and we can see from your pleasant face, sister, that we really appreciate your hard work and effort in this direction. And her study has led to the death of a seeker and awakening of the self. Phoenix rising from the ashes is the best way to describe her experience in her own words. She realized that the greatest tribute to self and the Supreme is her undivided attention and unlimited interest in untouchable, undistributed truth of all. So we are really very happy to have you here with us, sister, in this master class for eternal bond with Baba. So Om Shanti and welcome once again. Over to you, sister.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much, Harpreet. So should we start off with a few moments of silence?
Sure.
Okay. Just to know that nothing about the real beings that we are ever changes. Nothing ever changes. Letting that changeless foundation be the background for all ever-changing experiences. Oh, silence. Actually would like to set the stage with the beautiful elevated versions of Baba, where Baba said in the 17th February 24 Murli, I am not the mind, it is mine. I'm not the sanskars, they are mine. I'm not the intellect, it is mine. Therefore, the controlling power and the ruling power are number-wise. This kind of makes it very clear that what Baba is saying is that the being that I am and that you are is absolutely beyond mind, intellect, and sanskars. actually independent of mind, intellect, and sanskars. So we can't really use our mind in that case to know ourselves. True? That's why his first mantra is surrender the mind so that you can know yourself. Because for as long as we try to use the limited, finite mind to know ourselves, we can actually never know ourselves. We can only know ourselves from that limited perspective. And today, actually, Baba said that the Father sits here and explains all these things to you. This is called the dance of knowledge. Yoga is silence, but there is the dance of knowledge. You have to remain in complete silence in yoga. They speak of dead silence. 3 minutes dead silence. However, no one understands the meaning of that. There is the story of a queen who was looking for her necklace, which was around her neck. That refers to peace. It is each soul that adopts a different body to play his part. Every soul has received his individual part, which is imperishable. A soul is so tiny, it is a wonder. Tiny point is an actor. The features of one birth cannot be the same as the other. The part of one birth cannot be the same as that of the other. For me, this was like, I will say, liberation in life in 1 second. Because the moment when Baba says that you are Om Shanti, you are Om. Om means you are that being that is absolutely silent. And silent means what? Where there is no movement, where there is no change. That is the true me. But within me, Baba says, there is the dance of knowledge that's going on. The dance of knowledge means what? 84 parts that are constantly playing in the form of different variety of sanskars within me. So that means the sight, the sound, the taste, the smell, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions. They are constantly playing within me. They are the objects of change within the changeless me. So personally, for the self here, it has been very important to know who am I. I, that being that is absolutely silent. Nothing about me can move or change. Once that foundation is there, then my actions are changing, my activities are changing, sounds are changing, sights are changing, tastes are changing, smell is changing, texture, experience is changing. So constant change of experiences within me. Yeah. And so what one found is that once I know that, and it would be nice if we can interact a little bit, because then your questions will stimulate some things which I may not mention that you might want to hear. So it would be nice to have some interaction also. But just to know that I, the being, when Baba is looking at me, Baba is not looking at this ever-changing dance of 84 parts within me. He knows that there's an ever-changing dance of 84 parts within me going on, but he's not at all defining me by those changes. And those parts are recorded in what form? Because they are recorded, I'm formless, I'm Vichitra, I, the being, am formless. But within me, the parts are recorded in a way of energy, which when I, the silent being, identify with, I give it a form. So for example, if it's in the form of sanskaras, which usually come up in the form of thoughts within me, the being, then it is like I assume that thought to be me and I give it a form, which is combined with this physical body, right? And it becomes me for some time. So I'll give you one example and that may help understand a little bit. So let's say Baba is looking at 5 of us here. Let's say Baljit, Harpreet, Bhanu, Srinivas, and Sridhar, and Rini. Now, Baba is not looking at Harpreet, Baljit, Bhanu, Sridhar, or Srinivas. Baba is looking at the being which is completely independent of this combination of thoughts, feelings, and emotions, in my case, labeled as Rini, and the combination of thoughts, feelings, and emotions, in your case, labeled as Harpreet, and in everyone's case, a different label, right? So who is God looking at? God is looking at that Om, at that silent being, that being that is completely independent of this form of the thoughts, feelings, emotions with the body. He's not looking at that one at all. So let's say when we say, if we were to just look at it like, okay, what are the thoughts, feelings, and emotions Harpreet personality has? What are the thoughts, feelings, and emotions Rini personality has? What are the thoughts, feelings, and emotions Srinivas, Sridhar personality has? Very different. If we really look at it, it's totally different. The entire package of thoughts, feelings, and emotions is totally different. So now what Baba is saying is remove it. Remove the thoughts, remove the thinking, remove the feeling, remove the doing, remove the activities, remove the emotions. What is left behind? What is left behind?
The soul.
The I am, the Om, right? The absolute Om is left. Yeah? So now Baba is looking at that Om. So can you tell me, is that Om different for me than it is for you?
In original sanskar, it's the same.
So as Baba said, as we read in that Murli just now, the soul is beyond its sanskars. The soul is beyond its thoughts. The soul is beyond its feelings. So can you tell me that the being that I am, the Om, the I am, is different from your Om, the I am that you are? Is there any difference in your nature than my nature, originally, essentially?
Originally,
terms,
no.
in terms of the part, yes, there is.
In terms of the part, recorded, yes. But what about the essential being?
No,
It's
it's the
the
same.
No, it's the same.
It's the same, right? So
Yes.
Baba, when he's looking at me, he's looking at you. What is he looking at?
original.
Yeah,
Me of
the
the past.
real essential you, right?
Yeah.
He's looking at the most perfect form, which is
Yeah,
as
the
he
I
created,
am. Yeah?
as he created.
Yeah. So what is the perfection of that being?
That is timeless, soundless, and most perfect. You know, beyond the part.
Why is this being so perfect? Yes, it's timeless. Yes, it's soundless. Yes, it's
Because,
changeless. Yes.
yeah, in its original complete awareness or having the complete awareness of who I am,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The being that is perfect is absolute truth. The peace of the being has no opposite. The love of the being has no opposite. There is absolutely no duality in the being. The being is absolute truth. Nothing about the being ever changes. But what has happened today is that we, the beings, are completely. What has happened? You tell me.
Acquired sanskars.
So
Okay,
we
move
have started
on.
relating to something which is false, which is unreal. We have started relating or identifying ourselves with unreal.
Which is
That's what
what?
it is. Which is
Which is
basically a body, a part, role,
what is
feeling,
body part role?
drama, this scene, what is happening outside. We start relating with that. Actually,
I
we
mean,
are,
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yes, sorry. Yes, please.
yeah, that's what we are started, once we came into this world, uh, we started relating it with whatever is happening outside. We have started relating with identifying ourselves with that and deviating from the most perfect form.
Okay. Now, when Baba is giving us this knowledge that there's a dance of knowledge, what does he mean by that? He's saying all 84 parts are within you. Why is he telling us about that? That there are 84 parts within you. What is the practical application of it? How does it help you to know that there are 84 parts within you and that you are Om Shanti, but within you, the Shanti, there are 84 parts of chaos within you. How does that help you?
It's
That
like 84
basically,
costumes are there with you, and you take on them number one by one. But you are
Okay,
beyond them.
okay. More practical application, yes. Somebody was saying something.
so those 84 parts that we've been playing, there is a recorded sanskar of each part that shows up on the ground, and that shows up because we somewhere on the path forgotten the original me,
Mm-hmm.
the original self that is the soul. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, there is a gyan of a dance of knowledge, because each person who's listening to the knowledge interprets the knowledge from those 84 sanskars or 84 parts, and the way it may interpret with the required sanskars. That's one reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, all are absolutely right. I'm saying, like, looking at it more from a practical perspective, how does it help you in your day-to-day life?
One way it helps us is to build in a strong interpersonal relationship, because the way I, the soul, is the other person, the soul is, and
Mm-hmm.
accept what's showing up
Mm-hmm.
It is
with compassion.
different for everyone. The play is different. When
Mm-hmm.
it when we start acting or come up with a field of action, then everybody play a
Mm-hmm.
unique part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one way to see that, yes, each one is playing their unique part. How does it really help the being know its absolute truth? Let me be maybe a little bit extra so that it will help you see it.
When realization happens, who I am,
Mm-hmm.
Each person has a higher self, which is away from those 84 parts, which is actually nothing but Baba himself. Like you're part of that unique, infinite, undescribable source. And
Mm-hmm.
you are that. And those 84 parts are not that. They
Mm-hmm.
are they are your worldly manifestations to play a role. But when you go beyond that, you are part of that infinite, which is the Om, which is away from all these dimensions.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. And in day-to-day life, it's like everything is coming up moment by moment, right? There are feelings that are coming up, there are thoughts that are coming up, there are emotions that are coming up. Constant play of this, what we call so-called parts are manifesting in front of us moment by moment, right? And what this really does is that there can be unpleasant and pleasant emotions. There can be desirable and undesirable wants and feelings that can come up moment by moment. But I, the being, would know that I am that silent presence that is never changing with this ever changing moment by moment play of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So when I'm really coming from that space of my reference point to be that silence that I am, and I can't emphasize enough that I never change. I never move. And just that silence and stillness that I am. And then from that place, when the actions happen, it doesn't carry a sense of doership in it. When the feelings happen, it doesn't carry a sense of being a feeler of those feelings or a thinker of those thoughts. So one finds that more you, I, the being, know me as that Om, that silent presence, practically it is possible. Now when I see others, and it's not just a part, because internally we may still be carrying a lot of identification with very subtle feelings, thoughts, and emotions, which we may not even be aware of right now. You know? And as a result, because we are not aware of, we are unconsciously living as those subtle feelings and those subtle thoughts and subtle emotions, that we function through those thoughts, feelings, and emotions unknowingly. Yeah? So really knowing oneself as that completely silent being who can never be its thinking, who can never be its feeling. And for me, the most beautiful aspect was of knowing these 84 parts, was that I realized I'm not even the thinker of my thoughts. I'm not the feeler of my feelings. I'm not the doer of my actions. It is like complete freedom. So at least for me, that was a very big thing when Baba said that it's all recorded, pre-recorded. So then that means whatever thought is coming up, I'm not responsible for it. The only thing that I, the being, am responsible for is to know my silent truth, which is beyond that thought. So that to me was like complete freedom. Because at times, not at times, but I would say many times, we are still living as the thinker of our thoughts. And for as long as I'm the thinker of my thoughts, and if that is the reference point from where I'm living, there will be a constant battle with your mind. So one would say that just knowing I am this pure, silent awareness, the Om Shanti, the very first lesson that Baba talks about. And after that, it's like anything can exist within me and it can express itself in whichever way it wants to. I mean, at the conscious level of the mind, not externally, but at the conscious level of my mind, it can express in the form of a thought, feeling, emotion, but I'm not in conflict with it. And when I'm not in conflict with it, most of the time it won't even come into actions. I don't know if anybody wants to say anything at this point.
So when the soul moves from one life to another, the sanskars and the karmas and all the aspects are carried forward.
Mhm.
But the being that we are now discussing, the higher self or whatever is that name, is beyond the soul sanskars moving forward. It is the constant. And
Absolutely.
actually, when we go into very deep meditation, I'm just asking this question because you can throw some light on it.
Mhm.
You need clarity on a certain doubt or on a certain, when your mind is, giving all kind of answers, and you just leave it and let that silence speak after some time, and you're wondering from where is that answer coming, but that answer is actually giving you that clarity, and something within you knows that that is not you answering, that's the beyond, that's that Baba talking or universe talking or consciousness talking. Could you just elaborate on whether I'm expressing it correctly or clarify the question?
Yeah. Um, the very first thing is meditation is not just when you're sitting down, but let's say when you're sitting down, the being has not got any agenda to get any answers, right? The being is just ever present in this, and the moments are appearing in front of me and disappearing. I'm not looking for answers, and I'm not even having any questions. Yes, my mind may have questions, and my mind may be seeking an answer. But I, the being, am not the seeker of an answer, and neither am I the questioner of the question. Once I know myself as that being, then things may come spontaneously, and whatever answers for practical reasons may come. But there's no sense of seeking or achieving in it. Does that make sense? So it's like the soul is the thoughtlessly, wordlessly silent observer. Soul is just a silent observer with Baba. And in that, when I'm sitting, I have no agenda whatsoever. I'm just silently present because I'm not carrying past with me in this moment. And I'm not looking at the future because past and future also is just another concept in the mind.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
So what would you call the soul that is absorbing the sanskars and moving from life to life? And what would you call the silent observer that is not moving, that is only observing?
No, soul is beyond space and time, right? So it's the movement, the way we understand in terms of physical world, like the body is moving, it feels like body is moving, and thoughts are moving. Actually, thoughts are changing. There's a constant change, but when there's an identity with change, it feels like it's moving, right? Let's say, for example, there are 10 thoughts. Each thought is a different thought, and each thought is carrying its own world of feelings and emotions. I, the being, that is completely beyond thoughts. Now I start believing myself to be this thought. But the moment I believe myself to be this thought is already changing from this moment to next moment. So then I start believing I am this change, and it gives a sense of moving, and it gives a sense of distance and change. But actually, what is moving is just change. It's just a change. And it's like I really like this example of the space. And space is a constant observer. And also, I, the being, you can think of yourself as like that living space. Yeah. But when I define myself with the chair that is moving in, and the table that is moving out, and the sofa that is moving in, and the computer that is moving out, I will start believing that I am constantly changing, moving entity. Does that make sense? It's a little subtle, but does that make sense?
Yes, sure. I was just
So,
wondering whether there's a name for what you're speaking about, because I know what you're speaking about is from the quantum physics theory, from what I'm relating to in a very scientific way. But I was just wondering that is there like this infinite, this constant, this observer that is not changing.
Mhm.
In your language, what are you calling that?
Om Shanti.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay, thank you.
So, yeah. And
Okay.
that is what Baba is giving us this knowledge for 84 births is because of that reason. Yeah. The reason Baba is telling us that these parts are recorded within you, and that is why he says that it's just actually one thought which has led to all these different thoughts, which has led to all these different stories within you. So you can merge the drama in one point, as a point, in one thought. Just knowing that you are none of the thoughts, you are nirsankalp, beyond thoughts, and you don't have a body. You're bodiless and thoughtless. That is why drama can merge within the soul in a point. So practically, how do you use it? Every day you're seeing that each soul's parts are manifesting day to day. My own part is I can see manifesting in my own mind constantly. But I stay as that silent being with Baba and I see my own thoughts, feelings, and emotions manifesting moment by moment. But my interest is not what is happening in the outside world. My interest is what is happening in my inside world. I'm not even looking at others' parts. I'm just looking at me and what is happening in the unfoldment of my part within me, the soul. Then I'm living from a place of power rather than from the place of being that limited being, that limited Purana old mind that Baba calls. Yeah. And what one has personally found that it is impossible to really uh, live as that unlimited being without surrender to God. Because there are many forces within us that are constantly changing and they really have their own power. They really pull you constantly. But when you are with Baba, there's a sense of, for me personally, I just put Baba in front of me and then I let him be the reference point for who I am. And then whatever feelings, thoughts, and emotions are coming, they can feel very intense, they can feel very personal. But somehow in his company, one finds that with that surrender, that I cannot be anything else other than what he knows me to be. So surrendering to his vision, surrendering to his the fact that I am that seed and within me there is an unlimited tree of my parts, which is constantly manifesting in the form of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And if I don't own them, then I'm owning what belongs to God. Does that make sense? At this point, if anybody wants to say anything.
Om Shanti. Rini sister, I would like to ask a question here. Is that when the soul is in perfect silence form, like what you said, Om Shanti, then
Mhm.
Baba also says that based on the present confluence age Purusharth, the future future parts are decided, isn't it? We are forming our destiny every moment by moment. So
Mhm.
how does that happen? If we are always most perfect form and we are in that awareness, then how does the number get created? Like the number var Baba says na that number var Purusharth Anusar.
Yeah.
So which Purusharth are we talking about, and how does it differ from soul to soul? Where does the
Yeah.
difference happen?
Yeah, like for this one, the way this one sees is like, to what extent am I truly grounded in this reality and the truth of being a godlike being? And is it really feeling as my reference point truly from where I really come into my thoughts, words, and actions? Is it just some intellectual knowledge sitting in my mind and intellect? Or is it truly my sense of who I really am? Based on that, the numbers, Baba says, will be decided. Like, for example, mother of, let's say, 3 children or 2 children or 5 children. And I am seeing myself as that mother, and then practicing soul consciousness that, oh, you are a soul, you are a soul, you're a soul, you're a soul. But internally, somewhere, I have identified myself as any subtle thought or a feeling it could be of being that thought of being a mother. It could be very subtle. But if that layer is there on me, and through that layer, consciously or unconsciously, but if I am coming into actions through that layer, then I may be 100% perfect in my eternal essential form, but I'm still living as that one layer of that thought on me to be me. And that will create a very subtle karma, if you want to use the word karma, with the rest of the souls of the world and the nature. Because what is happening is that I am living as that one layer of that thin thought or a feeling. And then through that, when I'm coming into action, so it's somewhere mixed up with some experience of being a person. Then based on that, automatically, I'm creating my future part. But if I'm coming from a place of 3 layers or 10 layers, then based on that, my vibrations are spreading in the environment. Or I'm just coming from just pure naked being of light. Then from there, my vibrations are helping the world. So it's naturally then my part will unfold according to that. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does make sense, sister. But when we create a thought, when the soul in its perfect being creates a thought, for example, a thought of serving the world or serving the family, for example, then would that mean that I am creating a limited thought of serving my own family first and world later? Or should I focus on serving the world and that all automatically includes my family? So how does the soul decide which is a which what is the Purusharth? Is it Kalpraksh, be in the seed stage and serve the entire Kalpraksh rather than focusing on the family? Because we, how do I like, what should be the priority?
Yeah. So, what one here is seeing is that firstly, I'm not the creator of any thought.
Okay.
Secondly, because it is all fixed in the drama, and drama is not outside, that's just the manifestation. Drama is my inner script in the mind. Secondly, um, for me personally, what I have seen is that there's no sense of I'm serving also there.
Mhm.
You know? It is just that I, the being, am just being who I am with Baba, and Baba is the one who's serving. Because he's the one who can give salvation, not I, the being. So, more when I'm living as just, okay, I will make sure, Baba, that I, the being with you, I'm just not getting entangled and identified with my thoughts, feeling, with the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Rest is up to him. I'm just making sure I stay clean for him. And when I stay clean for him, then he's the one who serves the world. In that, there's no sense of I am doing serving or I am doing anything. In that is just I am with Baba as I am, just a being, pure presence. And then Baba is using the soul in whichever way he wants to. So there's a complete sense of surrender so that he is the one who can give salvation to the souls.
Okay. Thank you, sister. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
It was such a beautiful story for me to know about the two concepts of your being and manifestation. And I was just trying to see which is the one which is ever present and which is the one which shoots from where. So from what I gather, what you have said is manifestation will be perfect when it arises from my state of being. Manifestation will be perfect. It will reach a state of perfection when I go back to the being state of consciousness. That's why the higher the consciousness, high, impure consciousness, impure. So, but isn't manifesting, as you said, writing my script, a part of my own self-effort from my roots? Or is it being supported by another higher force? This manifestation of writing script, which you have said, because I believe if we nourish the seed with positivity, positivity comes. So once I'm able to relate to my being, so whatever thoughts or affirmations or I put over there, cannot I manifest it in the way I want? Cannot I keep the drama? Like I am the writer of my own drama.
The beautiful thing, Baba says, it's all fixed. We are not really writing anything. It's already written. Yeah. And it's a very beautiful thing. It frees the soul from trying to fix the part. It really frees the soul. And now my entire attention is available to be on Baba and be on my truth. Yeah. And from that, whatever happens is just supposed to happen in the drama for drama's sake. So more I really come from that place of knowing that it's already predestined drama, then I'm not living in the past or the future of, okay, let me create my destiny. Yes, Baba uses these words, creator of destiny. I give you the pen and you can draw a line as long as you want it to be of your fortune, right? This is a very poetic way of speaking. But if we really read between the lines, Baba also said a few days ago, I don't create anything. I don't create you. I don't create drama. Drama means the inner script of every soul. And I don't create physical world. He's really not creating anything other than the fact that he's really helping me to stay awake in my eternal reality, which is present in this moment right now of who I am. I am ever present to every moment that is passing by. And that is why I can be free from the drama. Otherwise, today, the way we live is that body is here, soul is here, but the mind is hanging in the past, right? And what Baba is saying is, once I've told you everything is fixed, what is there for you to think about? So if you really want to think about, go beyond thinking and be with me. And being with him means what? Being with him means, like, for example, I could be here in this group, or I could be anywhere with many people outside, or anything, anywhere I could be. Could be by myself in the kitchen cooking food, or whatever the activities that are being performed. But the internal state of the being is silently available and enjoying the company of the Father. I know if my mind brings anything from the past, with Baba, in that clarity and the light of truth of Baba, I can immediately see something that has come from the past. Is it necessary to be thought over in this moment? If it's not necessary, it's just the habituated mind that is constantly presenting itself. It's okay. My interest is not there. My interest is in the silent company of the Father. And you will be surprised that which needs to be done will be done. Some thoughts which will be practical will be recognized by you and they will be put into action. So you will see more and more you are living with Him. That which needs to be done will be done without you believing as a person who's doing something good also. We actually get caught up more in being a virtuous person, actually, more than anything else. So we really begin to see that being with Him, there is no sense of doership in it. It's just every moment you're living with Him. And in that, I could be with souls playing the roles of daughters, husband, wife, mother-in-law, father-in-law, friends, neighbors. But your vision becomes very similar and very same for all. And the moment you see any fluctuation in your vision, in your thoughts, in your feelings towards anybody, you can see with Him, there's a subtle sense of total clarity that this feeling is coming from this personal identity. I see it coming up, and it has got nothing to do with my truth. My truth is pure love, which has no opposite. And then from that space, that feeling just kind of merges. I feel in Him, but for me, I feel that His love, way of loving, is my way of loving. So He's the constant comparison for the soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so this is something one has to really take in, because I always believe the soul is a self mover. But I have to visualize myself. I'm like a small image, a small hand manifesting in the hand of something big, like like something which is repeating. I always think of that word encore, 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 like something which is being repeated. So I'm a small hand in a big hand, and total trust in that. So I think God is just trying to unravel. When I find it very difficult to manifest, to understand my role, He unravels a bit, but He can do absolutely nothing. Even He is also bound by that. So the
Absolutely.
soul is a self mover. I think that concept, I have to ratify it.
It's like soul is self-mover in the sense there is a fixed drama. When I'm with Baba, it's not like Baba in that sense is moving me. When Baba says you're moving with me, you're eating with me, you're drinking with me, what it really means is that there is no personal identity doing anything. Things are just happening according to the drama, according to the fixed film. But with
And
Baba, it is possible to live like that.
and have you, sister, gone into this intriguing understanding of why is the drama fixed like this? Who decided that the script for this soul is like this and for that soul is like that? And if so, then why is it that some scripts have caused disaster in the worldly sense and some have not? And that is the play of the Om Shanti, or which is intriguing, you know? If the drama is so fixed, then the kind of roles that people are playing are not always the best roles in our normal common sense thinking. And why is the drama written like this? Have you got an answer for that?
Yeah, personally, for me, it is the best play ever written. And the reason is like the being of light. When it's seen from the perspective of the being of light, then really all scenes are the same. There is nobody ever dying. There is nobody ever good or bad. These are the definitions of the mind and descriptions of the mind. From the perspective of the soul, there is nothing good or bad. They're all equally good, right? Whether it's a scene of a destruction or the scene of a paradise. From the perspective of the being who's completely unaffected, unchanged, and unharmed, none of these things make a difference. Like, for example, I like to see that Amitabh Bachchan, he could have played in a film where there is destruction, disaster, party, paradise, everything is there. But he doesn't really have any problem with the script of the drama because he knows there's nothing that is of that the reality that is there is not changing. The real beings are nothing is happening to them. Rest is all just for the sake of entertaining beautiful play. And beautiful play, why not just entertainment like a frivolous entertainment? But really, if I, the being, do not experience my highest form, and then I do not experience the opposite, then I will never know my absolute truth. Because in the home of light, there's no way I will know my absolute truth. Everything is all white, white, white. Then I will never know what white means. Then when I come to golden age, I'm living a life where there is no opposites. I still don't know what it means to be who I am. I'm still, Baba calls it royal Buddhu. I don't know who I am. Then when I come and live in Iron Age, and I assume the forms of Iron Aged personalities, then I don't know what it means to be my highest. Because I'm just living that constricted, constrained personality of a very limited mind. I'm living as a limited mind. So then when will I ever know who I am? So to really know who I am in my absolute truth, I need to be using the body. I need to be living with both the opposites and only as a Chaitanya Bij, as a living seed, not the one in coma in the home. As a living seed, can I really know my truth of my absoluteness and be it consciously is possible only in confluence age. So only in confluence age, I can see the opposites within me. I can see the Sattva-pradhan sanskars, I can see the Tamo-pradhan sanskars dancing within me constantly, but I can also see an absolute truth within which this dance of Gyan takes place. So to me, I personally find it's the best drama ever written. That's the only real absolute truth.
But still, sister, I feel sometimes if this word drama is fixed, makes us ask the universal question, why should I try? Why should I make effort? Jo hona hai will happen. Things are already have to happen. Whether I do, suppose a king does something, his power will go, he will be usurped. So why should I do anything? So what I do at such times, I always believe every spiritual law gets its intuition from its cousin, which we call it as physical laws. So these physical laws, whether it's the law of gravity, what goes up has to come down. So, and the law of action and reaction, Newton's law, I always try to feel there is some kind of connection between these spiritual laws and physical laws. So what we have to do, because it's boring to really just do things which is already, why should I work? It's written in that. I don't want to do anything. So what I feel, if as a detached observer, I learn to live harmoniously in that duality, then that the consciousness of my I being very strong will not be there. I can understand that insubstantiality of that word I doing something, I'm doing like that. But if I think I'm just part of that small tool of that drama, then I think we just take life. I don't know. Sometimes I just try to live in that kind of harmoniously in that duality, which is already fixed, to make it less boring.
It's perfectly fine as an intermediate step, but we are still living as a person. From the perspective of the soul, from perspective of God, there's no such thing as why should I do anything? It's still a perspective of a person. Because person is thinking I have to become better. Right? For the being, there is nothing to become better or worse. I just am perfect like God. My nature is like the Father. And that is Father's nature is just being that is always love, always peace, always joy, not this mind's love and mind's peace and mind's joy, which is constantly changing, but I am ever present, unchanging love, ever present, unchanging joy, unchanging peace. More that is my natural identity for myself, then there is no question of why should I do this and why should I not do this? What is the point of making effort? It's better to not make any effort when it's all pre-written, predestined. This is still the person mind speaking. This is still the limited mind speaking, which is fine. Because from Baba's unlimited perspective, I can see this perspective of the person mind also with detachment. I know it is the person speaking. Only person mind can speak like that because it's limited. It only thinks in terms of, because being is beyond the laws of gravity also, right? We have to really see in this absolute truth, I am Prakriti Jeet. I'm beyond the laws of nature. Only then can I truly see the way Baba is seeing. And Baba is seeing me as Prakriti Jeet, not one who is subservient to laws of nature. I can see during the cycle, which is again 1 second cycle or 5,000, it doesn't matter. During the cycle, it is fine. I had to play my part according to the script, but only in confluence age. I have this opportunity to know I'm beyond the laws of nature. And that's the only way I will know I'm Prakriti Jeet. Otherwise, I'm still subjected to the laws of nature for as long as I'm the limited mind, because mind and matter work together. Matter is kind of, body matter is like a visible mind, you can call it. But mind and matter influence each other. Most important is to know my existence beyond the mind and matter. And that's why Baba is here to help us really see that truth. And that's when we are Prakriti Jeet.
And if I may just ask one question, how do you visualize Baba? What do you see when you are meditating or just connecting or just being with Baba?
Yeah, I will say visual does come in the mind, but I know I'm the one with Baba who's even observing that visual because Baba and I have no form.
Correct. So, but then there's something when you're in this physical body that you see, or like now this picture that you have displayed on the screen. This picture is giving us a connection, right? It's the cosmos, it's the space, it's the universe. So when you are that one being with Baba, do you see him just as an experience, or do you see something as a vision?
I will say that it is definitely mind is giving visuals, and this visual that we put here, yes, it looks like universe, but it's this universe of the soul. Within the soul, there are these 84 stories, which is the universe within each soul, right? It may not be 84 for everyone. It could be 50, 40, whatever it is. It is like Baba is pulling the soul out of that. That's the purpose of this vision. At least that's what it is there in this one's mind. One really likes to see that I, the soul, am completely separate from the mind and independent. All these visuals are there for the mind and the intellect, but they are not the visuals which soul is beyond all these visuals. Soul is beyond all these images and descriptions. So I have no really visual in that sense, but I know when my mind is giving visuals, I'm the one who has no form, who is actually without any image, imageless, formless one is observing these visuals. So I don't need to have a visual. It's just an understanding, if you can say. It's just that you know, it's just a knowledge. It's like, for example, we say a newborn baby. I love the example of a newborn baby. A newborn baby, nobody's teaching the newborn baby who's your mother or who's your father. There's no sense of body, there's no sense of thinking, there's no sense of thinking in the baby, right? The baby's not thinking lucid thoughts like the way we do, right? An adult body. Baby has no thoughts, this concept of mother, father, but it understands the language of vibrations.
Correct.
And
Yeah, that's what I was trying to, yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so I find that soul feels Baba in that. It is beyond language and beyond thoughts. It's a relationship which comes from Baba's Gyan, from Murli. I find there's a sense of unspoken. It's a soundless. Baba says, no, I come into sound to take you beyond sound. So I find when I go beyond the sound of my thoughts, I really experience, no, this experience is unchanging. I just know that these are Baba's vibrations, and I and Baba are always together. We've never been separated. But when I identify with the thinking thought, that's when I feel I am separate from him. But that's when I've entered the dream world. So I know that I've never been separated. It's just a knowing, you can say. It's just a vibrational connection with Baba.
Yes, thank you.
Sister, I know time is running. Just a small question. You said, I know I and Baba are not separated. Just to understand the cycle better, what happens to this bond in the first part of the Kalpa, where I don't even think from him? Is it like I have to feel that I am in his womb? Or what happens in the golden and silver? What is that connectivity which I don't even think of? And Baba often complains, you never take me into Satyug, etc.
Mhm.
So I just want to understand what happens to that bond between the being and that supreme in those two ages.
Yeah. I will say being is like the Father. So the soul is never feeling I am separate from him because I'm one with him. It's like I'm like him, right? There's no sense of even being a being of light. It's just living as a being of light, right? So I personally like to see it like that, that there's no sense of distance, time, and space between God and I. So when I'm in golden age and silver age, there's no sense of time, distance, and space there. I'm just being who I am and I'm living. I never feel I'm separated from him because I'm just like him. It's when I'm not like him, when I become part of the Iron Aged personality, that is when I feel there's a sense of separation because I have entered a dream world of my limited thoughts. That's when I start feeling. Just very recently, in one of the Baba Milan Murli, Baba said, the distance between you and your perfection is just one thought. Just very recently, in this last season of Baba Milan Murli, very clearly said, do you really know that we have always been combined and that we are inseparable? and this one feels this, the child who can never be separated from the parent. So for me, it's a very, very clear signal. If there's any sense of I'm separated from Baba, that means I have identified with some limited qualities of the mind. And that very minute, I know who's feeling this separation, this personal identity is getting created. Okay. So then in less than a second, in no time, it's like, just have to say Baba. Like, he says, say Baba. And it's like, Baba. And Baba is like, okay, you entered the world of the dreams of your limited thought. Just see who you are. You're already in my lap. Lap is, again, a poetic way of saying, you're already with me. You never got separated. You just entered a dream world of limited thinking. So it is just like the nishchay, that conviction. And I find more you detach from your thinking mind and your thoughts, it's much easier to know that you have never been separated from him.
Amazing. I think I'll churn on that.
Yeah.
So this discussion is so intoxicating, and I'm sure we all would like to hear we'll have a lot deeper questions and have answers to it. And we will invite you very soon again to have these deeper conversations. But in the space of time that we're living in, we would invite you for a quick meditation at this moment before we close this class.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you for your presence here. Just knowing that I am the changeless peace amidst the chaos and the noise of the mind. Even the word separation doesn't exist between the Father and the I. There's no barrier of any mind-made language and mind-made concepts between Baba and I. This is not a conceptual relationship created by thoughts. Then it can be destroyed by thoughts. It is a relationship prior to and subtler than mind can ever imagine. Only his feeling can be my feeling. Only his seeing can be my seeing. And other feelings and seeings may well appear. But they appear to check to what extent are you convinced about your unlimited, unconditional presence of being love like the Father. So our attention is not on the outside world, because there's nothing outside to see, all lifeless bodies. The real living beings, we all have the same nature like our Father, same reality like the Father. Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Rini, for the very nice meditation and beautiful journey and understanding of me as an infinite being who is like Baba. And there's just an observer, is what I've learned. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we can go deeper into this in the next session. And thank you for your guidance. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family.
Thank you. Thank
Om
you, Baba.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.